Tezos signs up Google Cloud as a validator on its blockchain. Has Mastercard solved the onboarding dilemma as it allows crypto payments in Web3 via USDC? Polygon fires 20% of its workforce despite holding over 2 billion in Treasury, and Solana Spaces will close New York and Miami stores 7 months after opening. Staying with Solana, it sees ultra bullish push as Solana confirms a Helium migration date. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Assets of Value podcast. Today, on February the 22nd, and every day, we connect to share our insights and perspectives on crypto, Web3, and NFT topics. We are the founders of Assets of Value, a Web3 research organization. Our podcast is not to be taken as legal or financial advice. Let's dive straight into it. Abe, how are the markets looking like today?
As we have noticed in the last episode, the markets are witnessing a correction, probably on the wings of Russia's threat of war, or probably in the direction of Bitcoin funding rate exceeding a bull trap. So, was it a bull trap we just went through? The recent push to 25K, 25.2K to be exact? Or was it a leg up and another leg down? And Bitcoin begins to extend its range. We'll have to wait and see, but the clear indication of on-chain data, and we'll discuss in a bit.
Market cap is still over $1 trillion. Dominance is over 42%, and Ethereum is hovering around 18%, and Ethereum gas is at 22. So there is activity on the blockchain. It's just that it's not reflected within price at the moment. But let's jump over to the headlines. Tezos signing up Google Cloud as a validator partner. Is this big moves for Tezos and its influence within layer ones?
Actually, yes. I thought Tezos will not have a narrative in the upcoming bull run because other blockchains like Solana, Ethereum, Immutable, Polygon, all these had better NFT narratives. And we all know how Tezos' leading marketplace, Hicket Nuns, went down. But recently it's reviving as other projects. I recollect Anchor, the project ANKR Anchor, making a partnership with Microsoft. So, despite being a bear market, I think Web2 companies, Web2 giants are still interested in crypto. And Tezos has the narrative of green blockchain that is focused on NFTs, extremely user friendly and extremely cheap. But will this narrative be enough to win over Ethereum and Polygon? That's a different story to narrate.
You see, the way I'm reading this story is a Web2 firm getting in on the actions. So it's always taken as bullish news when Google partners up with a blockchain layer. In the past, they partnered up with Solana as a node validator, and I think they've also got an agreement with Polygon to validate some of their nodes as well. So it's muscling in as almost as an infrastructure play where it's almost positioning itself as a layer zero. Now, Google being highly centralized, going against the ethos of Web3, I'm not sure if in the long run this is bullish news, but certainly for now, as we are needing bigger companies to onboard, to invest and build up this infrastructure, it certainly is a sign of bullish news. What's your take on that with Google and spreading their risk across different blockchains?
That's a great perspective, Shop. I think that's the way how Web3 people should see it. We know that proof of stake chains can be dominated by a single party if they own sufficient number of tokens of that chain. If Google is becoming a validator, we have to assume that Google will be accumulating these tokens to become the top validator to claim the most rewards, fees, etc. But in the long run, it's not. I don't think it's sustainable, or I don't think such a centralized party like Google or Microsoft taking up lion's share of a network is a good idea. Be it Polygon, be it Solana, be it Tezos, I think there's an inherent risk in the system. But it's what it is, and in these situations, an assurance, a reassurance from a Web2 giant is more than helpful. It reinstates the trust in the blockchain system for other Web2 companies.
I'd have to agree. I mean, with Google on board, it does give an air of credibility, but I am full of concerns as well. Let's move on to Mastercard, another Web2 firm. Have they solved the onboarding dilemma as it is allowing crypto payments in Web3 via USDC settlements? This is extremely bullish if they have or if they can pull it off. That always seems to be the main pain point where users are having to purchase cryptocurrency, move them into a wallet, then go on to make a payment to then be able to get some sort of crypto or some sort of asset back. With Mastercard having solved this, I think they're onto something here.
Certainly, MasterCard is being clever here. They chose USDC, which is issued by Circle, backed by the giant BlackRock. And as we know, USDC is not the biggest stablecoin in the crypto ecosystem. It's USDT. But USDT has its own risk behind it. It's not fully backed. Even though Tether claims that it's fully backed, we know that there are some links with Evergrande and some Chinese paper loans. Furthermore, as USDC is backed by inherently backed by BlackRock, BlackRock is the biggest financial private entity in the world. So if Mastercard can offer hassle-free system where user can pay in crypto without paying much fees in fiat, I think it will be brilliant. It will fuel an adoption curve that can potentially kickstart the next bull run. I mean, this momentum from MasterCard and this user adoption, user interface improvement, this should be the momentum we are looking for the and the catalyst we should be watching for in the next bull run.
The campaign is dubbed as the Mastercard Immersive Partnership using decentralized protocols to settle real-time cryptocurrency transactions. Now, the settlement of these crypto transactions on any outlets accepting MasterCard payments online is hyper bullish. This means now that crypto native people that have either earned rewards, are hodling crypto tokens, now have a legitimate way of actually spending those earned rewards via any online retailer that accepts MasterCard. This is super, super bullish, and I'm really keen to see where this goes.
Yeah, exactly. I've been reading an article on interoperability, and the author says if an iPhone user calls a BlackBerry user or an Android user, and at the same point, both of them doesn't realize that they belong to different ecosystem, that's the true interoperability. So when a person can sell his USDC or make payments with his USDC without any problem, without any inconvenience, without paying infinite gas fee, I think this is the basis of interoperability. And if USDC becomes the stable coin that can enforce interoperability, it will win the race for sure. It will overtake USDT as the most leading, most volume, most market cap stablecoin in no time.
I'd have to agree. It almost cements an underlying presence of America within cryptocurrency. The fact that Mastercard is using USDC backed by Circle, backed by BlackRock. So yes, super bullish news for anyone in Web3. Let's quickly touch on this announcement by Polygon. We don't really need to spend any time on this, but the fact that they have fired 20% of its workforce despite holding over 2 billion in Treasury signals that the bear market is not over by a long stretch. So read into that what you will. Let's wrap this up with Solana and the closure of their virtual stores or physical stores actually, Solana Spaces in New York and Miami, closing down after 7 months of opening. So this tells me that either they were overly ambitious or they are cutting their losses and focusing on something else. What do you make of this? Are the general public ready to embrace Web3 by walking into retail stores? It seems like it's a failed experiment.
If you view this from the start, from the beginning, Solana had a meteoric rise. It had a fantastic partnership with FTX. The exchange used the network as its default blockchain network, and Solana price soared. Now, when Solana acquired such a large market cap, Solana launched Solana Pay. That was their first initiative, which failed. Secondly, they tried to launch Solana Spaces, or we could say they launched Solana Spaces in a massive environment, which failed eventually. that we can see right now. Third thing was Solana launched its own smartphone. Now you should see Ethereum holds a lot of money than Solana. Polygon has a lot of money than Solana. None of these blockchain projects started initiatives like Solana. I'm not saying innovation is bad. I'm just saying innovation is a necessity only where it is necessary. The thing with Solana is Solana overstepped and invested in a lot of things while forgetting its own development and its own credibility, its own security. I think that cost Solana a lot of market cap and a lot of credibility and obviously a lot of developers.
Not only that, you had the bad actor that was funding it and manipulating the prices, which has not gone down well within the community. But the announcement of the Helium migration date, is that enough to bring Solana back into the limelight and be considered as a serious player?
Helium is a loss making company. People who host Helium nodes are receiving little to nothing because the density of the nodes is not good enough to host this as an individual business. So that's the secondly, I love Helium as an initiative. It's fantastic, providing stable internet through blockchain network. It's a fantastic idea, but Helium had to undertake a massive infrastructure deployment for the same. So eventually, Helium might struggle to hold this infrastructure, and Helium should always provide incentives for new user adoption. If you think about it, it's kind of unpractical and impossible to provide incentives always. That's what happened with Axie Infinity. That's what happened with Play to Earn initiative. If you're providing incentives for a long time, then the people who are using the thing will be addicted to incentives only. They'll be using the system for incentives, not for using the system alone. But regardless, I think Helium migration to Solana brings more credibility to Solana. Yeah, I really hope Solana survives and flourish in the next bull run because it's such a fantastic chain.
So bullish news on the surface, but after a little bit more digging, it could be something to be careful about. We both believe in both those technologies, as Abe said, and we're excited to see where this one goes as well. It's been super fun. I'm glad you were able to jam with us today. That's it. Until next time, thank you, everybody. We're signing off.